Hold on, just sit down real quick. Got. Clearer. Crystal. Yeah, welcome back, y'all, to Debatable episode 12. 12 on 112, where the players 12. Oh, man. We appreciate y'all for checking in, and definitely look for Debatable on Spotify, because we're going to start posting that stuff on our content, not that stuff, our content on Spotify. And outside of that, we appreciate y'all share, like, comment. If y'all agree, disagree, let us know what you're thinking. If y'all want to debate a topic, y'all can do that too. And soon we'll be able to allow people to call in, tap in, get their thoughts across. You know, that's what it's all about, man, right?
Absolutely, man. It's a new day, I'm really excited. Blessings for the abundance that's being given to us, that's bestowed upon us. You know what I'm saying? Giving us the ability to create. You know what I mean? And shouts out to everybody out there. Shouts out to what is it? Dame Dash with his new sneaker.
Yeah. Them just look kind of fire.
It's like
Jaclaws.
Jaclaws. It's like the inverted Puma sign. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty dope. You know what I mean? So definitely support the CEO brand.
I didn't click the link, but there's another little girl from New York with her own sneaker line too.
Crazy.
Yeah, I just saw that on my Google. I'll definitely get back, but I love to see it, because I think right now, obviously, it's been a monopoly, meaning it has been really I guess Jordan would be the closest thing, because Jordan got some ownership to it, right?
Yeah, he got some ownership to it, but there's nothing like, ain't nothing like your own, you know what I mean? And then like how Kanye was like, the actual person that created the brand,
right?
You know what I mean? It was his intellectual property, and he partnered up with them, but it was his brand. So for Dame Dash putting out sneakers, and this young lady you talking about putting out sneakers, and Kanye putting out sneakers, we penetrating the market. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Me too, straight up and down. Yo, 50 Cent, they playing in the club doing the Ja Rule set. Did you see? And then they was trying to rush to shut down you saw that, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I thought about it, right?
He had nothing to do with it?
No, I don't think he had nothing to do with it. But I thought about it. You know what he should have did? Ja Rule should have let it play. And then after that song, he should have came with one of the 50 Cent disses. But they ain't think, it wasn't like it
was like damage control.
Yeah, but his team, them panicking to go cut it off, made it even worse.
Right.
But retrospect, if he'd have played it, that's really what he should probably start doing. Playing it and then coming with his, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
With his diss song or whatever. Because people liked his diss song. I personally didn't like his diss song. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a great musician, but I was a fan of 50 Cent. Before he was even super big, Right. It's like he was a wild gremlin.
Right.
I was really feeling him then, you know what I'm talking about? So I just always really liked him. And Ja Rule, I liked too. But at the time I was more into the more thought-provoking, and he was making more dance music, or, music for the women or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So at the time I couldn't get with it.
I mean, he was a cross between Tupac and DMX.
Yeah.
I think
And Drake.
Drake was in DMX, and then Ashanti gave him that crossover feel because Ashanti was a part of it.
Right.
When he was
now the dope thing is, remember when I showed, for those that don't know, probably y'all know, Ja Rule was down with Mike Geronimo. I think Math Author had Mike Geronimo on his show.
Oh, what?
If so, I gotta see that, man. I saw Mike Geronimo on something, I don't know if it was Vlad or what, but he was on one of these shows. But you know that, right? Ja Rule used to be down with, they had a crew called, guess what? Cash Money Click.
I remember the Cash Money Click.
I showed you the album, didn't I?
Yeah, I remember.
And remember on the album, Ja Rule's he was like, where's the camera? Like focused, like he knew he was gonna blow.
Right.
Did I ever show you that? Did I ever show you that?
Because
I had the album.
I
had the joint at that time. I had the record. I forgot who else was rapping with him, but it was other people. Mike Geronimo had brought them in or whatever. And so, you know, we're not gonna have that problem again. So yeah, but either way, dope artists. You know what I'm saying? They definitely came up the hard way, the long way. You know, it wasn't like it was an overnight thing. Came from Cash Money Click, branched off, started doing his own thing. Boom, you got Ja Rule. But yeah, that's how I would do it. I'd have definitely let it play, and let the crowd go, oh, and then come in with his diss song.
Right.
I think that would have been crazy.
I think right now, the fact that 50 got so much pressure on these guys right now.
Oh.
Kind of, Ja Rule, a couple of
But
cats.
now, you know what I was also thinking? Now that what's the guy's name? Irv Gotti.
Mm-hmm.
Now that Irv Gotti got $300 million, now what? Because that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
That's a lot of money. That puts him.
it puts him in a place where he's really good. He can really create with no pressure.
He could fight if he needed to. Meaning like,
Oh, what 50?
like yeah, like if they want, like he's.
I mean, if he wanted to, he could.
Do
But
you think that the beef lessened? Do you think that they've lessened down since he got the 300 million?
nah, I think 50 gonna always come up with his antics.
Okay.
Like I swear, I don't know, but I think the DJ that was there was paid to do it. You know what I mean? He might have got screamed out. Like, I don't know, I'm just doing my thing, but but somebody. Yeah, I just feel like 50 don't like what I mean. What I'm understanding, he don't let it go. Like it's like it's when the casket drops. You know what I mean? But it ain't to the extreme that he gonna put hands on you, but he's gonna definitely make it uncomfortable for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think 50. I definitely think 50 is not gonna let them guys get it off because and while he was coming up, they did what they did when they were in a position of strength.
Right.
So now 50's in a position of strength. You know what I'm saying? And Ja Rule, like he did a concert just the other day. I don't know where he was at, but it had to be every bit of
Ja Rule, 50 Cent.
Ja Rule. A lot of people, man, 70,000, something crazy. The crowd was crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, so while he's getting back
The
to
verses
that,
did good for him though.
yeah, so while he's getting back to that place, 50 ain't playing with him. Like, look, I see you climbing back up the stairs or the ladder. I'm throwing as much boulders, rocks for you to come off.
Right.
Now, when it comes to Irv Gotti, I think Irv, he's in a position where he can create, take his time. He's in no pressure. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's got to make sure he pays taxes.
Right.
You know what I mean? And stay out of the way. He can
It's a good
create.
one. It's definitely capital gains or something like that.
He can create.
But I wonder if they have a what's that thing? A 1030 exchange. I wonder if that works for like other aspects of because 1030 exchange. If you sell a house, you immediately buy a house for the same amount of profit that you sold the house for, so that you don't get taxed for that. I wonder if they're able to do the same thing with like selling their masters. Like, I mean, are they getting hit? Like 300 million? Are they gonna? I mean, 'cause that would seem like a whole lot of money. It seems like you're paying like 40% on that, right?
I don't know. Tax bracket, when you get up there, definitely is a different type of tax bracket. But I just think that he's in a position where he can create.
Right.
And then, and you shouldn't really take it lightly, because it's going to be, a lot of fun.
I don't think so, though. I don't think he's taking it like. I think that guy's a professional too.
You know?
He's a professional. That's why I always talk about like sometimes people don't like people's attitudes or the way they talk to people and this and that. But I mean, it matters. But I think his skill set matters more than anything else, man. I think that's why a lot of times there be people that you be like, man, his attitude he got the worst attitude, but he's still doing his thing.
Right.
And that's because his skill is still bringing that value to the marketplace. And at the end of the day, as long as the value is there, people want to pay. So I don't necessarily, but it's just universal law. So even if I agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. So it just means people, good people got to get to a space where you also successful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then also I learned a lot of people that are successful are good people because there's certain like universal laws in gaining certain assets and gaining certain success levels.
Right.
That it's like certain principles around it still. So I don't, so that's just my thoughts on it.
Man, listen, man. I think we in a time right now where it's really we're in a position to really make noise and do things across the planet. And We just gotta take advantage of it, and we don't have to sell out.
No,
You know what I mean? Kanye showed you that we don't have to sell out. So as long as we don't sell out, you know what I mean? And we create and we look out for each other. You know, and when I say sell out, going towards that drill music to me is a sellout because you know you won't get the bag if you create this particular content.
Right.
So to a degree, you're selling out because of that. You know what I mean? And I don't think we got to do that. I think we can create. We're very talented. We've been making music for 50 years. Of course, you know, gangster rap has been a part of it. But gangster rap, to me, was like, you know, a part of the artistry of you telling the story of what you went through that day, and your neighborhood, the environment, you know what I mean, and through that became gangster rap, you know what I'm saying? But then, you know, now you're talking about a crime you just committed. You're talking about you're gonna shoot somebody's house up. You're talking about, like, you know, this thought process, and then you're 15, so that means the 10-year-old is listening to you,
right.
And then now you become this influence to this 10-year-old. You'll sell out.
I said, I get it. Let me ask you a question. If you don't know anybody, meaning, so you're 15, you know, you're in wherever you are, somewhere in the hood, US, somewhere hood USA, and you're making drill music, are you a sellout? You're 15 years old.
If you're 15 years old, you're in the hood, just making drill music, you're a product of your environment. You know what I mean? What happens is, right? You have this. I think it's out now. I think it's known now that you're going to get a bag for making this type of music. I don't think that's hidden. I think that's something that's known. The more gory it is, the more you get locked up, the more active you are. The label's gonna want that. It's gonna lock. It's gonna like that. And you're the ones. These are the guys that's getting ushered into those label deals. You know what I'm saying? This is such and such. You know what I mean? He's active. He's outside. And then when they look at him, and they feel the pressure. They test the temperature, and they get a deal. You know what I mean? Whether it's from $50,000 to $1 million, you know what I mean? You sold out because now you're prescribing to creating a certain type of music that's going to affect a generation. You know what I'm saying? You're a sellout. You're a sellout. You know what I mean? And that's not just talking just to be talking, but that's just like, look at your environment. That's like, okay, going out selling crack. Okay, you selling crack, like Troy Ave was saying, he sold crack to people that wanted crack. I get that. That's like selling weed to somebody that want to smoke weed. I get that. But what happens is, we were in an environment where, you know, Reaganomics is going on. They was putting crack in the neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I mean? We was a part of that business model. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
And then by being a part of that business model, we knew what it was. A decade went by, 2 decades went by, crack is whack. That whole thought process kind of shunned that. You know what I mean? So, like, even if you was pushing it, you would go to, like, you know, a small town somewhere, you know what I mean, and sell it to, you know, to white people, or even control weight. But, you know, you would take it out your personal environment. And not saying that it was a good thing, but it becomes the greater of evils. You know what I mean? Do you keep it in your neighborhood? The lesser of the two evils. Do you keep it in your neighborhood and destroy your neighborhood, or you go somewhere else and destroy that neighborhood? Either which way, you destroy the neighborhood. You follow what I'm saying? So, but then you know, but it became a thing where, you know, you were like, all right, cool. I'm gonna do my best, get my bag, and get out this game. You know what I mean? There was always an exit strategy. You know what I'm saying? Whereas with this drill music, that's the end, and that's the end. That's the once you enter, that's it. All be all until you either get killed or get locked up or become a star. You know what I mean? This big guy or girl that's making this type of music.
Right.
To me, it's a sellout. That's my personal opinion. I could be totally wrong.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I just wanted to get.
And it's
your thoughts.
debatable. If you guys, have thoughts on it,
Right.
definitely put the comments up. You know
Definitely
what I mean?
like, comment, give us your thoughts, and so tell me what you think about what happened in Georgia just now. I'm seeing that the man's son was killed. They just held a press conference. We were
Right.
watching it on
Right.
Instagram.
Right, yeah.
How recent is that? Recent.
Maybe 24, 36 hours in recent.
Right.
You know what I mean? What happened was regular traffic stop. I saw it on my son's page. Shouts out to my son. And he's also a battle rapper. You know what I mean? He may not now because he's an activist, but I appreciate what he's doing. I appreciate how he's putting his the content out. My son directly, talks about academics. How academics is like a instigator within the culture. You know what I mean? Because you have the music, then you got the vloggers that talk about the music, promote you when they got a certain amount of followers. You know what I'm saying? So it works hand in hand. And my son was talking about that. But back to the point. This particular we had a Chinese restaurant, just to let y'all know. So they're having lunch right now, and so that's the backdrop y'all here. I just wanted to let y'all know what's going on. No argument, you know what I mean? Ain't no chopsticks flying, but this is where we at. But regular traffic stop, and he's in the middle of nowhere, it's Georgia. So like, dude is like asking a series of questions. You know what I mean? And I guess the guy that's asked the driver, he's being asked questions and stuff like that. He feel intimidated, so he just pulls off, starts driving. But there's kids in the back seat. But the police saw the kids in the back seat, and they use a tactic where they hit the side of the back. They hit the side of the back of the car, right?
To make the car spin out.
To make the car spin out, and the car spent out, tumbled, the kids got crushed. You know what I mean? So like now it's like a big thing, but in Georgia, this is the type of things that they do in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's really unfair, because I feel like if it was a white pedestrian,
Oh no. Very different.
They would have with children in the car.
Period.
You know what I mean? I don't think they would have chased them to the point where they would have called, because they caused the accident. The dispatch even said there's children in the car. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just interesting.
Nah, I agree with you, man. I agree with you. It would have definitely been different if it was a white family, white children, white driver. And I don't think that's just, that's just fact. That's statistical fact. That's just what that is.
It's a part of the Mad Max theory.
It's not debatable. That's not debatable. That's not debatable.
But that's a part of the Mad Max theory.
Right.
When I say theory, because it's a theory, there's going to be a Mad Max type era.
It's happening.
You know what I mean?
The matte paint on the cars, that's Mad Max. All the little kids having guns, that's Mad Max. Gangs in every little area, that's Mad Max. You follow what I'm talking about? Come on, man. That's straight Mad Max.
And what's going to end up happening is, once that happens, it's going to be a civil war, a different type of civil war, because we got all types of guns and ammunitions and bombs, and we produce it. So it's in the communities out there. It might be in South Dakota, North Dakota.
To me, Booker Eli is like an extension of Mad Max. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like you had the new special effects, you had the new actors, but it was the same scenery. It was the same environment. You follow what I'm talking about? So, yeah, man. But 19 Keys. Shouts out to 19 Keys. I'm definitely feeling, what I've been able to catch from the brother. And I just saw him and Loaded Lux. And there was a Black Magic. I saw him on the Black Magic YouTube channel, which now I gotta subscribe to. I just literally was looking at this before the video, so I'm gonna make sure I subscribe to his channel because I love the fact that they bringing people together like that, talking about concepts like extraterrestrials in creation,
right?
Aliens. You follow what I'm talking about? What's affecting? Particularly they were talking about the God in us. The potential, but I really feel that, man. And I think Loaded Lux, you know, I was glad to see him a part of the conversation because, you know, he's one of those mouthpieces. You follow what I'm talking about?
Right.
For, you know, one, our culture of battle rap, and two, our culture of hip hop, and three, our black culture. You know what I'm saying? So when these rappers, you know, and that's been the problem over the last 20 years, is that these rappers had nobody influencing them with real serious information that the 90s rappers had. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
so, go ahead.
What's deep is they say they call it pseudo to talk about extraterrestrials.
No, they don't call it pseudo to talk about extraterrestrials. No, they talk about what they said was pseudo. I think dude was saying the Anunnaki being extraterrestrials. It was pseudo.
If you go into the conscious community,
all extraterrestrial talk is pseudo.
That's
crazy.
Yeah, because
that's stupid.
Because no, it's off of the mindset of if I can't see it, touch it, it's not real.
Nah, come on, man. You can't see, touch, air.
And but look at it.
That is what people say for God too.
If I can't see it, touch it, it's not real.
Right.
And what you see out there is propaganda, like what they show on TV.
So you're saying that's the mindset of the entire conscious community?
I'm saying a lot.
Or that's the one of the principles, like with battle rap back in the day at least. In a freestyle battle, you couldn't kick a written rap. You know what I'm talking about? Right. That was like a principle. So you're saying right now in the conscious community, anything dealing with aliens is pseudo.
Let's go back. In the 90s, when Dr. York was putting a lot of his books out, the 5% community did not recognize extraterrestrials as being a fact, right?
The 5% community is like I'm just saying of the broader black community. Well, go ahead.
Within the black community, 5%, the 5% community is the one of the intellectualization or foundations to go to. Before YouTube, you have the 5% community. That was a place to go to identify, information. I ain't gonna say that was the YouTube, but 5% community was that place other than Nation of Islam. Nation of Islam identified the mothership, however, they don't go deep into, the galaxies, the universes, the planets,
right.
Who came from where, who came here and did what. Right. Hebrew Israelite just deals with
Jehovah, Yahweh.
Period. They do not break down that the Yahweh is the angels, or these angels are the extraterrestrials that came here. 24 aliens. 12 of them Yah, and another 12 of them Wei. And out of that 24, you have Yahweh, and that Yahweh is actual aliens or extraterrestrials. They don't get into that. So when Dr. York was breaking these things down back then, you know what I'm saying, he was considered crazy. So now in 2023, when you have this stuff everywhere, you know what I'm saying, like from TV shows, the Coneheads to Alf, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like, you have all.
I'm sure they got more recent stuff, but
but you have all these different depictions within the TV shows to make you familiar, make your eyes familiar with these beings that's actually on this planet. You know what I'm saying? Because,
they actually had a whole show that's crazy called Alpha. I totally remember they had Mork and Mindy before that.
Yeah, but see,
there's extraterrestrials too, right?
Of course, Mark wasn't from the planet, you know what I'm saying? So he came out of an egg, you know what I'm saying? The egg came from another, galaxy. He came through and he was able to do, different things, you know what I'm saying? Nano. But the point of the matter is, now the conscious community calls it pseudo. You know what I'm saying? And these would be like the leading heads. Now, Polite, shouts out to him. He said he's out of retirement. You know what I mean? I would love to hear his breakdown, you know what I'm saying, on this particular topic, because even within his breakdown, he stayed within certain schools of thought, broke down that school of thought. but he never really went into the doctrine of what we prescribe to from his teacher, Dr. York, and dealing with the fact that, you know, you had higher intellect that came here, and this higher intellect that came here, they are actually responsible for speeding up the evolution from the Homo erectus to Homo sapien. You know what I'm saying? That brought this intellect into the genetic pool. You know, so that's what I got.
Nah, that's right and exact, man. I remember that back when I was young, it was called the missing link. They used to always talk about the missing link, this and that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and there was no real explanation. And the realest explanation I got was in the information from Dr. Malachi York, and then now, like, you know, I mean, come on, all of it's being confirmed. A bunch of stuff he was talking about, and then we were being exposed to it. You would have been exposed to what's that guy named that I was telling you about, Bob? I forgot his name, but the first guy that they hired. They hired him for Area 51. He was an engineer, you know what I'm saying? Dude was an intellect. You know what I'm talking about? But he was wild. Like, you know, he actually put a jet engine in his like regular automobile.
Okay.
So everybody knew of him as being like this, you know, what do you call it? What do you call that word? Like weird, not weird. Eccentric, yeah. You know, scientist or whatever. So they wanted somebody that could think outside the box. Mm-hmm. So they brought him in at Area 51, and he's one of the people that started blowing the whistle.
Right.
Bob Lazar. Y'all look him up. He was on Joe Rogan, you know what I'm saying? But what I love is that he was in books written by Dr. York in the 90s, exposing this information to us back then where, come on, like when we was getting any of this info, you know what I'm talking about? You know, other than, you know, what's the name of that movie? Cosmic Slop. Y'all need to go see Cosmic Slop. If you ain't seen Cosmic, you seen it? Did you ever see it?
No.
Oh, you gotta see. Remember, dudes kept telling me to watch Cosmic Slop. Yo, that joint crazy. So it's about these extraterrestrials that come for their children, and the children they coming for is who? Us, the black people. But you know, other than that, you don't got no Hollywood films depicting any connection with us and other beings from other galaxies, you know what I'm talking about? Right. And then they left it blank. You never knew if they were taking us to a good place or to a bad place. Then no one ever really knew, you know what I'm talking about? But people was really, a lot of people was willing to take the risk because everything that's been going on with black people on the planet, they're like, well, shit, I might as well roll the dice and see where this takes me. But yo, y'all gotta check that out, man. And back then, remember, and then I heard a Cosmic Slop from who? Redman. Remember Redman had a Cosmic Slop. And then Prodigy said with all that space then wound up, and it's funny because he calls out Redman and them for talking that space. Remember, I should smack y'all for living, But they took it personal, right? Cool. Remember? Prodigy on that song, on the interlude of the Infamous album said, all y'all talking that space, shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get smacked for living. Y'all remember some high school stuff, whatever they said. Y'all remember that interlude? Come on, man. That's one of the most classic interludes ever. And it was said that was about Keith Murray and Redman. Okay. So when they caught, because remember that was Def Squad. So when that's when, you know, Keith Murray caught Prodigy, supposedly snuffed him. Right. Even Prodigy said you snuffed me on the song, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that dude Keith Murray was a wild guy. He really was a wild guy. But the funny thing is, Prodigy goes on later on to talk about what? Extraterrestrials. We just watching the clip where he was like, yeah, I'm a snitch on the government. I'm a snitch on the fact that they know about extraterrestrials. I'm a snitch on religion. I'm a snitch on this and that. Right. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. Prodigy. But yeah, man, like yeah, facts. But yeah, man, it's like, so to be exposed to that information as a African American or a black male, that's important, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, no disrespect to any of the other thought processes when it comes to religion, but, you know, in Christianity and Islam, you know, to think outside the box and to start talking about, you know what I'm saying? Hey, God, maybe those angels was extraterrestrials. How about that? And that's that. You know, that's how I got hit. I got hit by my man. He a white boy. Put me on. So, you know, shouts out to Pete. You know what I'm saying? My DJ partner when I was coming up, Russian, and he's the one who was like, yo, you gotta check these books out, da da da. You know, this is during the time we coming up, we rapping, we producing, you know what I'm saying, making beats and all of that.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And his whole thing, that's how he came. Yo, man, what if the angels is extraterrestrials? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it started making me think, like, oh, that's crazy. What kind of thought? Like, what kind of, which now, you know, is probably more common knowledge, but at that time it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean,
Foreign.
I mean,
Completely.
you know, the audience, you know what I'm saying? Y'all want to debate on this, we love it, you know, in reference to the angels being extraterrestrials.
And all the above.
Because what happens is when God said, "Who told you? You know, we ain't have no clothes on."
Right.
The fact that he said "who," somebody else was around talking, and who is that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or the fact that he had a larynx and he could speak, right? That's something different because how could a snake speak, right?
Right.
But then not only that, the snake said that God was lying. You ain't gonna die after you eat that apple. Eat the apple, you good. Right. Worry about that.
Right.
Lying. Right. But who told the truth? The snake or God? So my point is something like that got you thinking, right? And then the question is, who was lying? The snake or God? Because did Adam die? No. So that means God was lying. And if God was lying, the question becomes, where did they come from for them to be opposing each other? Because obviously a problem. Where did that problem come from?
Right.
The planet. It came from somewhere onto the planet to the point where he's putting, or the snake's putting Eve on game like, you can eat the apple, you good.
Right.
God is lying. And then after she eat the apple, she doesn't die. Because God said, after you eat this apple, you will surely die. That's like a definitive.
Right.
After you eat the apple, you will surely die. And if it didn't happen, but then the question is, where did that beef come from? Because that was a problem that they had that came from somewhere, and Eve and Adam got caught in the middle of it. These were extraterrestrials. Their thought process was extra from someplace else. That came from the astral to the terra. You know what I mean? Extra, terra, astral. You know? Terra being earth, astral being space. Yeah, like Dr. York broke down, you know, the sun is an extraterrestrial. And then, you know, it affects us every day. If we don't have the sun, everything will surely die.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not in the planet. You know what I mean? It's outside of the atmosphere, 93 million miles away.
Yeah. That's what's up, man. Listen, we'll be back tomorrow. We want to take that call, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tomorrow, like, comment, disagree, debate. Let's go. Debatable, episode 12. Thank you, y'all. And look for us on Spotify.
Swear.